I'm Marsha Scarbrough. I moved to Spain in 2017 at the age of 70. And the day before I left the U.S., I was front page news in Madrid. One of the newspapers, El Mundo, ran a big spread on me and declared that I was La Primera Exiliada, the first exile to leave the U.S. after Trump's election. That story was picked up by all the Spanish language press throughout the world, and my friends and ex-students from Mexico and Argentina and Chile and Puerto Rico were texting me, telling me that I was front page news and a star in their country. And when I arrived in Madrid, it was a media frenzy. I was interviewed on all the news programs and many, many radio shows. It was quite a ride, and I'll tell you how it happened. I was born in Los Angeles beside the Hollywood freeway in the Queen of Angels Hospital. I grew up in Los Angeles. I got a degree in journalism from the University of Southern California on scholarship. And I worked in advertising for about 10 years. And then I was able to break into the movie business as an assistant director through the prestigious Assistant Directors Training Program of Directors Guild. So I worked in Hollywood for 20 years as an assistant director on major feature films and primetime television. And I worked with co-workers like Clint Eastwood and Dolly Parton and John Travolta and Gene Wilder and Pierce Brosnan and Mary Tyler Moore and many, many other famous people. It's really hard work. It's really long hours. It's really stressful. And I retired at the age of 50. And since my career was basically the reason I was in Los Angeles, because Los Angeles was not the Los Angeles of my youth, was becoming very congested with traffic. And the homeless situation was quite sad and disturbing. So I moved to New Mexico, to Santa Fe, New Mexico, which is a wonderful, artistic, open-minded town. It's beautiful there, except it's really freezing in winter. And I thought I could become one with the snow, but I never really did. And when I was there, I invested in some properties and I was selling real estate. And then I got caught in the housing crash of 2008. And my properties went way, way underwater, and there was no more income from selling real estate. And I was 63, and I was completely bankrupt, in foreclosure, and even owing money to a friend. So I was in a really bad situation. At that point, I realized that any kind of nest egg I had for retirement was gone, and I was going to have to figure out how to live on my pensions. And that would not be in the United States. That would not be possible. I had traveled a lot in my life. I used to do extensive trips to Asia between films when I was an assistant director. I'm very comfortable finding my way around in the world. So I knew there were places where I could live on less. I began to travel during the winters in Santa Fe. And at the same time, I got a certificate to teach English to speakers of other languages. And I worked in summer in English immersion programs at the University of Art and Design in Santa Fe. And during the winter, I would go visit my students in their home countries of Brazil and Mexico and Honduras and Chile, looking for a place where I would feel comfortable living out the final chapter of my life. In 2016, I went to Spain. I had one student from Madrid, Spain. I was thinking that Europe was going to be too expensive for me. But when I got to Spain, I realized that it wasn't. And as I traveled around Spain, I just loved it. One thing, the weather is very much like the Southern California of my youth. And the Spanish architecture, very much like old Los Angeles. And the other thing was that this really selling point for me was that Spain was safe. There's virtually no violent crime. There's some pickpockets, but that's it. You can walk around anytime feeling completely safe. That kind of sold me. Also, I found it quite easy to make friends. By the time I left Spain, I had maybe 10 friends in Madrid, and I thought I could move here. So I went back to the US and I started to research what I'd have to do, what I'd have to have to move to Spain. At this point, Trump was like announcing his candidacy, but we just thought it was a joke. We thought, no one would ever vote for him. He's just a clown. And in my world in Los Angeles and Santa Fe, no one I knew was voting for him. And as I worked on my visa application, collecting all the information and everything I needed, I would have to go to Houston to the Spanish consulate there because I was living in New Mexico. And as I was in Houston and in Texas, I realized I was in situations where everyone was voting for Trump, and I was the only one who was not. And by the time I got my visa, Trump had been inaugurated. And I felt so vindicated that, like, at some level I had known, and so relieved that I was not going to have to be there. When I found out that I had been granted my residency visa to live in Spain, I happened to be in Los Angeles at that moment, and I told all my friends there. One of my friends went to a charity dinner that night. She was seated at a table with people that she didn't know, and one of the men introduced himself as a correspondent for El Mundo, a newspaper in Madrid. And she said, off the cuff, "Oh, my friend's moving to Madrid." And he said, "Is she moving because of Trump? Because if she is, I want to interview her." So she put us in touch. He interviewed me in his car as he was driving me to the airport to fly to Houston to go pick up my visa. And from that, he took some pictures of me in the airport on his phone. And from that, he created this front page news in El Mundo that then triggered the media frenzy that greeted me when I arrived in Spain. I've been living in Spain for 7 years, and I still think I made a brilliant choice. I have no plans to go anywhere else. I still love the weather. I still love the people. I still love the wine and the food. I still enjoy feeling safe all the time. And another great thing about Spain is the first world infrastructure. Here you can drink the water from the tap. The roads are all good. The electricity's on 24/7. The public transportation is amazing. These are luxuries. Oh, the trash. They pick up the trash every night. They power wash the streets. We recycle everything, including organic. It's fantastic. And I really appreciate that. And it's quite a luxury. Not every country has those kinds of amenities. Before I left the U.S., there were certain problems that I realized would never be solved in my lifetime. One of them is guns. I don't think that problem's ever going to be solved while I'm alive, and it's just getting more and more dangerous. And the other one is homelessness, which is so sad. And how did the greatest country in the world ever allow it to become so bad? Don't understand those things, and I don't think anything that I work for politically is going to make a difference at this point. So I sort of made a choice that I'm toward the end of my life. I'm in the final chapter, and I don't want to be struggling with these kinds of political issues where I think the impact I can make is quite small. And what I really want to do is enjoy life. And so in Spain, I don't have to see the homelessness. There's no problem with guns. Everyone has health care, and I can relax and exhale and enjoy my life. I still see those problems on the internet. I know they're there, but I can shut them out and focus on being happy. The cost of living in Spain is very affordable. I took my cameraman to lunch. 3-course lunch for both of us was a little over 25 euros. But one thing that makes life in Spain even more affordable is that I don't need to have a car. The public transportation is so good that I can get anywhere quickly, conveniently, and for free because I'm a senior resident of Madrid, and I have a card that allows me to have unlimited metro, bus, and urban train rides for nothing. If I stay out late, partying until 3 a.m. and the metro's stopped, I can take an Uber back home for maybe 15 euros. And a wonderful thing in Spain is the fast trains. To travel anywhere around Spain, the trains, like to go from Madrid to Barcelona, it's 2.5 hours. It's convenient. It's comfortable. It's a pleasure to travel. And it's more sustainable, lowers your carbon footprint over flying. And again, the price is very affordable. So I'm so pleased with the public transportation in Spain. It changed my life. Another thing I love about Spain is the schedule, because I have never been a morning person. And in Spain, you don't have to get up early. The stores don't even open till 10. And then lunch is from 2 to 4. And dinner is at 9, and then people go out afterwards, drinking and dancing and enjoying, socializing with their friends. So for me, it's just perfect. And I think it's a very civilized culture that doesn't make you get up early. There's no point. A typical day for me is that I sleep until about 9. Then I go to either Zumba or Pilates class at 11 in the morning. On the way home, I do errands, like I go to the pharmacy or I pick up whatever I need from the grocery store. And then I have lunch at home and I write in the afternoon. And in the evening, I often meet friends for tapas and wine and drinks and conversation and fun. And on the weekend, I might go to a museum or walk in a beautiful Retiro Park or go to a concert or a movie in the original version and English with Spanish subtitles, again with friends, and stay up late at night enjoying life. Good morning. Today I invite you to come with me and experience a day in the life of an expat in Madrid, me. For me, each day starts here in my apartment in a studio in the Chamberí neighborhood. Since I am retired and living on pensions, and Madrid is expensive by Spanish standards, I live a minimalist lifestyle. When I moved to Spain, I got rid of almost all my possessions, and I arrived with just 4 suitcases. I have purchased a few things since then, of course, but I want to keep my life simple, and the studio is just perfect for me. I love the high ceilings and the lovely soft light. This is my tiny, efficient kitchen with a dishwasher and a washing machine, but no dryer. I hang the clothes on clotheslines from the windows. My living room is a small sofa, a bookcase, and my desk. I bought all this furniture from IKEA, and I had someone assemble it for me. My bed is in this quiet alcove. Here's my closet. The bathroom is large and nicely renovated. I pay 850 euros a month plus utilities, which come to about another 100 euros. For my mobile phone, a landline, and super fast Wi-Fi, I pay 60 euros a month. I like to start my day with exercise, so I'm off to Zumba class. Come on.
Hola, Javi.
Hola, Marsha, buenos días.
Buenos días.
¿Estás lista para bailar?
Sí,
Let's go.
vamos.
I can't eat gluten, so I'm always on the lookout for gluten-free alternatives to wheat products. And I have found my gluten-free heaven here on Calle Conde Duque at Leon the Baker. Let's look inside. Now it's time for my Spanish lesson. My teacher, Carlos, teaches online from wherever he is. Today he's in Madrid, but in the winter months he's in the Canary Islands. Carlos is very popular and booked almost every hour. I pay him 22 euros an hour and he's well worth it. Hola, Carlos.
Hola Marsha, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Muy bien, muchas gracias. ¿Qué tal la semana?
Muchas cosas. Mis semanas son muy ocupado.
Oh, sí, ¿qué cosas has hecho esta semana?
Muchas cosas. Mucho trabajo para mi revista.
Ah, trabajo para la revista, qué interesante, Marsha.
It's lunchtime and I'm hungry. In Spain, lunch is the main meal of the day and it's served between 2 and 4 in the afternoon. Today I'm having lunch, or we call it comida, out with my friend Alberto, my friend and cameraman Alberto. And we're gonna have the menu del dia at El Trato Gastro Bar in Chamberí. I want to have the menu del dia to show you what Spanish gastronomy is all about. It's a 3-course fixed price meal. It includes drinks, and you can have wine or beer. I'm gonna have water because I'm working. It includes bread with, in this case, with aioli, and 2 courses, and a choice of dessert and coffee. So let's have lunch. Choose 1 item from the first group and 1 item from the second group. It includes bread and a beverage, which can be wine or beer or a soft drink. And you get a choice of dessert or coffee. The price is 12 euros 50 for everything. You'll find these all over Spain, priced from 10 euros to 15 tops. I chose the salad with buffalo mozzarella for my first course and the roast chicken for my second course. Alberto chose the arepas with cheese for his first course and steak for his second course. And for dessert, marquesa de chocolate. Yum. And all of that for less than $15. What a delicious bargain. In the afternoon, some people like to take a siesta. I usually spend my time writing for International Living, but today I'm taking the day off and I'm going to a movie. I'm going to go by metro so that you can see what it's like to live without a car. Madrid's public transportation system is one of the best in the world. The buses and the metro are very convenient and clean and inexpensive. Best of all, they are intelligently designed to take you anywhere you need to go in an efficient way. The cost is €1.50 per trip, with additional fees for outlying zones. You can buy a card with 10 trips that is good on the metro and the buses for €12.20. And if you are a senior resident of Madrid, like me, you get a month of unlimited travel for €6.30, less than $8, and that is so much cheaper than having a car. This is one of the movie theaters in Madrid where you can see films in the original version. That means in the language they were filmed in, with Spanish subtitles, as opposed to being dubbed in Spanish. Tickets are €9, and for seniors, $6.30 on the first showing on Mondays. And it's air conditioned inside. Spain comes alive at night, and Spanish people love to party. So I often do what Spanish people do, and I meet friends in a bar or terraza for a beer or a glass of wine or a gin tonic. That with some tapas serves as a light dinner. Conversation and conviviality are important in Spain. This neighborhood is La Latina, the oldest section of Madrid. It was a citadel within the walled city when Spain was part of the Arab Empire. Its winding streets and wide plazas date to medieval times. It's named for Beatriz Galindo, one of the most educated women of the Renaissance, who was the Latin teacher to Queen Isabella I and founded a hospital near here. On Sunday, these streets become a popular flea market called El Rastro. But every night, throngs of Madrileños and tourists crowd the many bars and restaurants that are here, stay open until the wee hours. Let's join them. Salud.